To me, success used to mean stress. Now, I measure my success by how peaceful I feel in the day. Like many of you, I used to work a job that required me to be away from my home a lot. I was on the road. I was constantly staying all day, 12 to 18 hours sometimes on job sites, making sure that I had a huge paycheck at the end of the week. I don't know why. I figured the harder I would work and the more that I would show that I'm worthy of my position at work, the more relevant I would be. I felt like I always needed to prove myself, so I would go above and beyond. I would work my days off when I was asked, and I really didn't leave any time for myself or my family. At the end of the day, I was tired, I was stressed, but I thought I was doing the right thing. Then the day came where I thought I wanted to start a family, have a baby. And while I transitioned from those long days in the truck to even longer days in the office, I started working from home after the baby was born. I did take some time for maternity leave, but to be honest with you, I regret ever going back to work. I worked sometimes 24 hours a day. There was a time where I was the only one on shift and there wasn't even somebody for backup, so I'd work a month or more straight before the owner could take a few days for me. And no fault of theirs. The company was a wonderful place to work, but I was burnt out. I did it to myself because I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to slow down. And this went on for years. I did 2 years at home with a baby before I ended up divorced. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say the job was the reason I ended up divorced. The reason I ended up divorced was from pure burnout. I didn't know how to quit. I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know how to say no. And I didn't know my limits. I thought I could do it all. I thought I could be a full-time mother. I thought I could work from home and do everything it required to be a good wife. And that's just not realistic. I tried cooking homemade meals every night, along with working a full-time job. It didn't help that my partner really wasn't that supportive. He was not really the best dad to my child. But I allowed that. I let him. I figured if I needed help being a mother, then I failed at being a mother. And that's not true. I honestly gotta say that divorce is what really, really opened my eyes. That was my lowest low and my total breaking point. Now, I did want my son to have his dad in his life. I didn't try to fight for custody, full custody or any of that. I willingly gave him 50-50. I was the sole parent in the marriage, but I didn't want to try to take him away from his dad or any of that. So that part of things was pretty easy to figure out, but I didn't stop working. I worked harder. I bought a house. I renovated that house from top to bottom while working a full-time job and being a mother. I honestly needed to do that in order to survive. And that's what's really unfortunate these days, is a lot of the time it takes two parents working full-time in order to survive. But if you can make some lifestyle changes, you can make it work. Fast forward another couple years after the divorce, I ended up meeting somebody else who also had a child. He had primary custody of her. And the new relationship really, really made me take a step back and figure out my priorities. And those priorities, they were family. That was my priority. So I quit that high-paced, extremely demanding job. It was extremely difficult to walk away from that. I cried, and it was like giving up a piece of myself almost. But I'm really glad I did, because it gave me something that I could never get from work. It gave me peace and it gave me time. It gave me time to build a life that I absolutely love. I ended up pregnant again after 6 years, and this little monkey is the result of that. It was a surprise, but very welcome, and it has made me even slow down more. I will never go back to the workplace, at least not the traditional workplace. I work part-time, I work remotely, I work for myself. I do markets sometimes for a little extra cash. I grow a garden. I spend time with the dogs. I'm there before and after school for my kids. I give them the support that they need. And most of all, this little guy, every single day. And my partner and I, we're happy. He's loving, I'm loving, and just I can be present when my family needs me there. I don't have to be gone. I don't have to be stressed. I don't have to be struggling. And you know what? The amount of money that I make is just enough for me to feel like I'm, slightly contributing financially. I can buy a few things that I want when I want to. And he pays all the bills, so I don't have to worry about that. This little guy's well taken care of. Our other kids are well taken care of. And we're happy. But the hardest thing that I had to come to terms with is that my value, it does not depend on whether or not I have an income. It doesn't matter how pretty my house is, if I have the best of everything. I just need to have those few things that bring me joy. My children, good cup of tea, once in a while a date night, support. Those are the things that really matter. When you have a community of people around you to support you and guide you and help you, hold your hand when you're having a rough day, that's worth more than anything. My life's not aesthetically pleasing. There's nothing glorious about being a stay-at-home mom. I mean, if you want that, I just don't know what to tell you. There's going to be hard days. There's going to be days where your kids get on your nerves. They piss you off. There's going to be days where you're like, man, I just wish that I could go to work and escape this. Because honestly, being at work sometimes, it feels so much easier than this. But there's one thing I'll tell you. This, being a mom, being able to walk around with your baby at any point during the day and just have a cup of tea, sit down, and you don't have to worry about the phone ringing or those life stresses, alarm clocks, rushing in the morning, rushing to get home. Sure, you're still going to rush. You're probably going to rush to take your kids to sports, though. You're going to probably rush because somebody needs a nap. You're not going to rush because your boss told you to. You're going to live on your own terms. And that is more valuable than any job or any money that you could ever make. If your Monday is filled with this, baby giggles, swinging in the trees, instead of an office, then you're rich. You are rich beyond anything that money could ever buy. So stop trying to chase the dollar. If you want to be a mom, allow yourself this. It's the greatest gift you could ever do for yourself and your children and your husband. I wouldn't trade it for anything.